And there we go. Oh, I gotta turn this light on. Makes me more beautiful. All right. Now we see what happens. Oh, there I am. Hopefully the sound is a lot better. Well, since I'm talking to myself at the moment, oh, there's Pete. How's it going? What are we doing tonight? I don't know. Whatever anybody wants to do. I've always got something to do. I've got, I started doing something about just answering basic questions on, that people have errors with, just going through the comments and seeing what errors everybody gets and trying to answer some of those. I'm doing this because I like doing the live, but I don't have a video for this week finished because it's been a very busy family week. Sound is good. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. How's it going? Oh, got to go to bed. Oh, man. Sorry. I tried to make it earlier. I tried to do it earlier today, but my dad was in town from not that far away, but from 5 or 6 hours away. And so I was saying bye to him. Andy, how's it going? Hi, Dad. That must be Dawson, if I had to guess. Right, Dawson? Or is that Zoe? Not sure. From down under. What time is it there? I was planning on UK time, sort of Europe time, trying to get on before everybody goes to bed down there or over there. How's it going, Nigel? All right. A lot of people saying hi. It's Dawson. Hey, Dawson. I got an email from YouTube that said that now I have the chat will be posted from the live sessions in the video afterwards, or so. I guess maybe they'll be streaming or not streaming, flowing next to the video when you watch the replay of the live stream. So that's cool. That I don't think that did that last time. So hopefully it'll do that this time. Ben, watching from the Salt Lake City airport, waiting for a flight. Oh, cool. Where are you going? 8:30 in the morning. Oh, nice and bright and early there down under. 12:30 in Romania. 4:30 here. It's 4:30 here too. How weird is that? From Denmark, 11:30. 10:30 in the UK. See, the YouTube gives us some statistics about where people are watching from, and only about, I think it's only like 20 something percent, maybe 30% at the most of the people that watch the videos that I've made are in the United States. And then another like 20 or so percent are in the UK. And then they break it down by country with, with a bunch of European countries all being split up. So like 5% here and 7% there and on down. And it's, you guys over there in Europe, you guys know how to home automation. You guys are into it. We're still figuring it out here. Holland, Argentina, andale. Heading to North Carolina. Have any experience with MyQ, Chamberlain LiftMaster issues in Home Assistant? Yeah, I don't have a ready-made built-in smart garage door opener. So if that's what the MyQ is, no, the ones that I have, I just have a regular old dumb garage door opener with a regular push button and the little, I guess they're probably an RF transmitter or something, you push the little button. And I just added I have two, and in one of them I used a D1 Mini and a relay and an Arduino sketch and used that to control that garage door. And then just to see what it would do, I used the Sonoff SV, which is the low voltage Sonoff, and Tasmota, and I use that one on the other garage door, and they work great. They work great. Thanks for the awesome work. Keep it up. Thanks for Karen. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it if everybody wasn't so interested in it. So thanks for watching. I mean, I'd still be doing the projects, but I wouldn't be doing the videos if there weren't people that were interested. I followed your last home. Oh, good, you did, Cosmin. You followed the HA dashboard and it's working for you. Hopefully, that HA dashboard is cool. It is really cool. I haven't gone back in and done very much with it. It has been a busy couple of weeks here at the old Aiden household. We've had my oldest boy was Shrek in Shrek the Musical. And so we've had family coming into town. We've gone to see his shows every night, and that just ended on Friday. And then yesterday had my next oldest boy was in like a ballroom dancing nationals thing competition. And then Zoe, you guys have all seen Zoe. She was the gymnast. So she had a thing yesterday. My dad was in town. My mom's been in town. My sister's been in town. So I have not done a lot of work that I would have normally done, but darn regular life getting in the way of my hobbies. Am I using Homebridge with Home Assistant? I'm not. I actually, there is an add-on now for Hass.io, and I think it somehow directly connects you to HomeKit, I think. So you might not need the Homebridge part anymore. We can look at let's make the transition here to a different stream setup here. This is the back end of the website. There is let's go to My Home Assistant and we'll look at it. We'll look at the Hass.io page here, and then there's a new, sometimes this happens. You got to click out and click back in. Okay, great. So if you go to add-on store, they changed it. It's not the shopping bag anymore. That lasted for like, I don't know, a month, a couple months, and now it's different. I don't remember which repository brought it up, but there it is. Oh no, it is Homebridge. Okay, HomeKit support for Home Assistant instance using Homebridge. So it's part of this community Hass.io add-ons. Oh, you can't see that because I got this other camera in the way. There you go. Okay, so right here, Homebridge, right there. So I haven't messed with it yet. What got me interested and started in this? Ben, bruh automation videos. I wanted to do some cool LEDs outside on the house that did different colors, different times of year, so they weren't just Christmas. And I watched Ben's video, and he controlled it with Home Assistant. And I wanted to do it similar to what he did, but I was doing it a little differently. And then my setup, it took me a bit to figure out what to do, even though he had a pretty good tutorial on it. It took me a bit to figure it out, and I figured it out. And when I did, I thought, well, I'm not going to be the only one who's going to want to do this and who's going to potentially run into these issues. And so I made a video about it. And that was the first one that I made. And that was, so getting into those lights was why I got interested in Home Assistant in the first place, because that's how Ben was running his lights. So at the beginning, for the first few months, all I had on my Home Assistant was just those lights. And then I don't remember, I think it must have been another video from Ben about the Sonoffs. And I thought, wow, $5 switch, Oh, I did the garage doors next. That was right. I did the garage door next. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Ben. I don't know where he is. I hope everything's okay. Kind of weird that he would just disappear, You got to hope that he's just got tired of it or something else happened. Hopefully he just had some babies or something and he got busy. Hass.io or Raspbian, and why? Good question. Here's my take on that, Andrew. If you are somebody who really can get into the command line in Linux and install packages and do those kinds of things, and you're comfortable there, then I would say use Haspbian, because you have that freedom with Haspbian. Hass.io, you really don't have to use the command line hardly at all. Well, actually, you don't have to use the command line. In fact, if you go to the command line, if you like SSH into your Pi when you're using Hass.io and you try and run a command and install a program, because of the way it's set up with Docker and containers and things, it doesn't act like a normal Linux distribution running Linux on a Pi. So it's good for folks like me, honestly. I mean, I know enough on the command line to get myself into trouble, but Hass.io is really taking away the need to get to the command line. You go to this add-ons page, and you grab different repository links or URLs, and then you just click the add-ons that you want, and it installs them in the right way. So have I started the transition to Superhouse TV type system wiring that we talked about? I haven't gotten any further, but I did order a bunch of parts though. I ordered like 50 relays, and I ordered what else did I get? 50 relays. I got a bunch of blank little like boards. They're kind of like breadboards, but you just put the pins through and you solder stuff down. And I got the fuse clips, and I got some wire connector clips, so those will go on the boards. And so I'm gonna make a bunch of those, and all it'll really have is the relay and the fuse, and then a couple of connectors where the wires from my hub downstairs will come up here. And then and I ordered an Arduino Mega and and the Ethernet shield to go on top of it. So that's where I'm at. So it's all coming from China, so it might be a while before I get it, but that's the plan. So no, I haven't gotten any further, but that'll happen at some point. Hasai was great for non-command line users. That's right. Hascats. Hey, I was just checking out your thing on Node-RED. I just barely installed Node-RED the other day, and I was just starting to tweak it because that was one of the requests. So if you guys see Hascats there in the chat, he's a fellow in the UK that just started doing some videos about Home Assistant, and he's gonna do some on Node-RED. And if you haven't messed with Node-RED, let me see if I can. Well, we can get to that in a minute. Let me try and answer questions for a bit. Random questions for chat. Anyone else using SmartThings MQTT bridge? Can't get the repository to come up on my fresh install of Has.io. They changed something recently. Andrew's got a question. I did set up my account for SmartThings. I got that far. I haven't gotten any farther. Thanks for the videos. Super helpful. Good. You're welcome, Jason. I'm glad to be helpful. Throw out your Arduino Megas and get some ESP32s. Are those Wi-Fi? The reason for the Mega is just because I've got a non-Wi-Fi connection potential. I've got a bunch of places where I can install, where I can have wired light connections, if that makes sense, instead of having kind of like Superhouse, kind of like Jonathan on Superhouse. Free plug for Hascats. Yep. So did you get the latching relays? Simulate the two-way lighting circuit and a current sensor to give state of the lights. Did you get latching relays? I was thinking the same. Oh, latching relays to simulate. And the two-way lighting circuit. Not sure I understand, Mark. Sorry. It might be just my brain. So what I have been working on, I'll tell you. Oh, happy Mother's Day, Gary, in the UK. Set my mother up with Google Home and a Sonoff on a desk light. She's getting the hang of it. Yes. Awesome. That's great. Get your mom into home automation. Fantastic. How hard to convert from Node-RED to Has.io? So, Rich, you can do both. You use both. Has.io is, just the Home Assistant front end. And what Node-RED does better than Home Assistant is the logic of an automation. It makes it a lot easier, and it's a lot more visual. So when you're doing an automation in Home Assistant, you get your configuration.yaml file, right? And it's this big mess of stuff and text everywhere, and you've got conditions, or even if you're using the automations editor, you've got triggers and conditions, and you got to kind of plug things in. You got to kind of think about how you're going to do it, and it's not super intuitive. But Node-RED, you know what it reminds me of? If you guys ever used Scratch, have you ever used that software that they have for kids to learn programming called Scratch? It's like little blocks, and they just move the little blocks around. And this block is a sensor, and this block is a condition, and this block is a response, and they all kind of connect. It's like that. Yeah, that's how Node-RED is. Let's open Node-RED. That's a good idea. We'll go in here and see if we can. Let's see, Node-RED. There it is. Node-RED. Oh, I think I had. No, it's running. with Web UI. This one's not going to work because I don't have it through. Two. And it's what's the there it is. Okay. Okay, so this is what Node-RED looks like. And you can see I have not done much with Node-RED. I barely just got it running a couple days ago. But it kind of goes like this. You have you know, these are your inputs, and you can select something over here like the state of something, I guess. And then what do you want it to do? What do you want the output to be? Maybe an MQTT command or something. And down here, once you install this component that includes all your Home Assistant stuff, then you can do something like this where you put, I don't know if I can draw a line to that. No. I still got some stuff to learn on this for sure. Anyways, once you get it, you can put this Home Assistant thing in here. Well, here, let's do it this way. There it goes. And now this information here is from Home Assistant. So it's grabbing these entity IDs and these commands, the services and stuff from Home Assistant. So this is just Node-RED is another way to do automations that's more visual, and I'm sure it gives you a bit more flexibility, and it lets you do a lot of other things and have it interact in a lot of better ways. So I'm still learning it. Just barely got it running, but it pops up as a Hass.io add-on. You can get it through the notorious BDG Hass.io add-ons right there, and there it is. It wasn't too bad to install. I had to do a couple things. I wrote it down. I'll go over it at some point, but it's good. It seems like, you know, people who have it like that. If you go to Haskat's video that he just did, yeah, he's got some pretty involved automations that if it was written in YAML format, it would be a hideous, ugly page of text. So to have it in a visual format where you've got lines that connect, oh, this has to happen, and then that has to happen, and that has to happen, seems like a pretty cool deal. So, all right, video on Node-RED and Mega. Node-RED on the Raspberry Pi. Yes, so Node-RED runs, I have mine running on the same one, Andy, on the same Raspberry Pi as Home Assistant. With Hass.io, and you do it as an add-on, and it just puts it in there, it just gives it a different port that you go to, port whatever it was. It was just on there, 1880, I think. Am I an instructor by profession? They seem so well put together. Thank you, Nicholas. No, I am not. I am an anesthesiologist. I put people to sleep. That's where the Z's came from. DrZzs, as in I'm actually a physician and I put people to sleep, and that's it. This is just a hobby. This is a passion, and I have a good time with it. And the editing, I have a good time with the editing, honestly. And that's a good and bad thing. It's good, obviously, because they seem to be good quality. People like to watch them. But the bad part is it takes some time. So, I was doing really good about getting a video out every week. And then this last couple of weeks, it's been just a lot of regular life stuff getting in the way. And I haven't had as much time. And so I haven't finished. And I don't want to put out something that's not good and done well. So it'll be a little delay. The next one I'm going to do, the next video, the one I've been working on is putting Tasmota on a D1 Mini and a Node MCU board. And what that does, which is really cool, let me see if I can pull one up so we can peek at it, is, when you do a Sonoff, it's got maybe 3 pins that you can use for things like a switch or a sensor, things like that. With a D1 Mini or a Node MCU board, you have like 11 pins that you can use for different inputs and outputs. So it's pretty cool. Let's see, is this the one that's connected? Yep. Okay. So in here, this is a Node MCU board that's connected. If I go to configure module, look at all those pins. Let's see if I can make that bigger. Main PC. It's probably gonna be hard to make it bigger. There we go. There you go. Okay, so you can do a bunch of stuff. So what I did, so I was like, okay, well, the Node MCU and the D1 Mini, those are like the ESP8266 just development boards, and they just really have the chip on there, and they have a bunch of pins you can use, and so you can do a lot of stuff with them. That's what I use to run the lights, the my fancy LEDs that do the holiday stuff outside. That's what Ben used. He used the Node MCU, I think. I used the D1 Mini. I used it for the garage doors. Because it has so many pins, it's really flexible. You can do a ton of stuff with it. So I thought, well, what about doing something with Tasmota? Because it's got all these options. I don't even know what they can do. And so I did, and I bought a pack. I bought a deal like this. Let's see. It's 37 sensors, 37 sensor kit. So I'm going to throw a bunch of sensors on there, throw some relays on there, and kind of make a Franken sensor out of this D1 Mini and see what we can do. It should be fun. I know a lot of people wanted to know about using temperature and humidity with a Sonoff if you're using Tasmota. So this will be a way to do that. And you guys all probably know, but for anybody that's wondering, the reason for using Tasmota is kind of the same as the reason for using Has.io. And that is with Tasmota, you get away from writing an Arduino sketch. And, I was never trained to write an Arduino sketch. I never took a programming course or anything. So I can get in there and monkey around a little, but like to write one from scratch, it would be pretty tough for me. But something like Tasmota, where I've got drop-down menus and just a few simple commands at the console, I can make a lot of stuff happen. So that's why I like it. All right, where are we at? Hey, Bobby. Bobby's got some cool stuff, man. He makes some cool stuff. Got a 8-speaker amp relay switch hub monstrosity of a thing. Pretty sweet. And a pretty cool card to go with it. All right, let's see. What do we got here? No Has.io yet, just Node Red. Oh, for Rich. Both your emitters sold on Has.io. My wife just said, is this guy you rave about, the little white boxes? Oh, the Sonoff. Yes. Yeah. That's me. Hi. Hi, wife. Is the Wemo emulation in Tasmota working? That's a great question. Should we try it out? I've been trying. Yeah, I've answered that question a lot. A lot of people say, "How do I get it to work just with Alexa if I don't want to use Home Assistant?" And so after I try and get them to use Home Assistant, then the answer is emulation. And I don't know. Is it not working? Has anybody tried the emulation and had it not work? Charlie must have tried it and had it not work. That would be my guess. Can eWeLink be used with Home Assistant? No, it cannot. That's the downside. The Sonoffs. The great thing about the Sonoffs is that they're so cheap. Everything you get in there for $5 is great. But and their app is okay. It depends on their servers. So everything that you click on their button, on the button on your phone for their app, and it's got to go to their servers and then come back and turn your lights on and off. And not everybody likes that, and it's dependent on the internet and all that. So that's one reason to change it. But the other reason to change the software on the Sonoff, is to be able to use it with a hub like Home Assistant or OpenHab or anything else. Odo says, bruh was his first bald-headed hero. Isn't it funny how many bald-headed home automation video making guys there are? That's like a conspiracy. I promise we don't get together and plan that. That just happens to be the way it worked out. Go figure. It's pretty cool, though. There are problems with emulation of Tasmota on the Sonoffs. Alex, avoid it. Uh-oh. What can you tell us, Alex? Because I don't know about it. Is it with the Wemo emulation and the what's the other one? The Hue Bridge emulation, or is it just the Wemo? AppDaemon is great if you like writing Python instead of YAML, or if you want to make use of HA dashboard. Yep. Yeah. Yep. I concur with Ashton. I totally concur. I may shave my very hairy head to be one of you. Bring it. Come on. Come on. Join the bald-headed revolution. Packet loss. Oh, okay. We're Dr. Evil fans, yes. Yeah, we're all Dr. Evil fans. That's what. I just got an answer on Instagram about Skynet. I don't know what that was about. All right. Hue has always worked well, albeit seems to be memory intensive. I was just looking at that today. 10% packet loss because of emulation. Bummer. Robert, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. You know, Tasmota, when you get in there and you start looking at all the options that those guys have put in there, it's incredible. It's really thorough. And I'd love to chat with Theo someday and see why he did it and where it's coming from. But they've done a fantastic job. I mean, there is very little in there. You know what you can even do? You can even hook up a programmable LED, one of those 2812 LEDs like the ones I've got around the house. You can hook that up to one of the pins on a Sonoff or anything else that's running Tasmota and send commands at the console or through like HTTP and have it run different colors, have the lights change colors. I don't know, you can't get quite as fancy as you can do with Arduino, but you can do stuff. You can run a bunch of lights off of it and have it change colors and everything. That's so cool. Like I've never thought that. What 37 sensors in the kit? Well, let's see. Oh, actually, I can open this is the PDF for the kit right here. We can peek at it together. You guys can tell me which ones you want me to try and use because this is the whole list of them. Look at all that. So, I'm definitely going to use the temperature and humidity module. That one's for sure. It's got a shock module and a tilt switch. I don't think I can use those. It's got this IR receiver module and IR emission module. That's interesting. I don't know if I'll be able to use that or not. But there have been people that have asked, what can you do with an RF remote kind of a thing in Tasmota? I don't know. There's some buzzers. There's a light emitter. Here's an RGB photo interrupter module. I think this will be a good one. I'm thinking that the way that works is you kind of put your hand over the light, and when it blocks the light, then it triggers. And so that would be really useful, right? If the lights were on outside, they could turn off. Like if the sun was up, it could turn off a Sonoff. So that's cool. Sound modules. These detect sound, I think. And so that would be cool. There's another temperature module, flame sensor module. I think that one's cool. I'm excited to see if that works. So you can read what it says right there. It says it detects wavelength of light in this range, right? So I'm assuming that that's the colors that you would see from a flame. And so if you put a lighter up in front of that thing, it should trigger, which is really cool. It's like if it sees fire, it goes off. So that's cool. I don't know. If I want, that's probably not going to be that much protection for your house, but it's cool. What else is there? Avoidance, rotary encounter. It came with a relay. It came with an ultrasonic sensor, so that'll be good. I'll probably try and use that. Definitely PIR. This is really the important part. I almost bought a big pack of PIR modules, but I wanted to make sure that this will work well before I did that. So because those are really going to be useful, right? If you've got somebody in the room and they're moving around, or it even there's ways you can program it so that it doesn't, go off when you don't want it to go off and such. But having motion detection in the room to activate the lights or turn the lights on or off is useful, super useful, right? So PIR for sure. And then this one I thought was fun, water level sensor. I don't know if you guys I don't know how many of you guys have basements, right? I don't know about the UK and other countries out there, how many have basements, but we have basements, and at least where we live in Utah, and they flood, and we've had sewage in our basement, and it's bad. So right now I have a battery powered moisture sensor on the ground down there, and if it goes off, it'll make an alarm. But something like this hooked up to Home Assistant so that I know in like all kinds of ways that all of a sudden there's water on the floor in the basement, that's important, right? That would be super useful. Oh, the RF modules have a lot of RF interference according to Bruh. Ooh, Tango, thank you. That's good to know. I'll have to account for that. What else was there? I thought there was other ones. Anyway, so I'm going to use a combination of some of these sensors and then some different outputs like relay output, turn something on and off. And then I want to do the lights too. I want to do those, a string of lights and have it so that, some sensor goes off and it makes some lights happen or whatever. This thing isn't going to be useful by itself. It's just going to be kind of a Frankenstein of sensors and outputs. But it'll show off how a lot of these things can be used for other different projects. So yeah, hopefully it'll be fun. Hopefully it'll be useful. All right. He found one that did work well and forgot which one it is. Okay, well, I'll just check his video. I know he was working on, that multi-sensor. He was trying to get like a really inexpensive multi-sensor put together. So I'll check it out. I'll see which one he did. PIR and ultrasonic sensor together to better sense human-sized motion and no animals. Good point. Very good point. I was watching something where somebody was using it, I think it was a PIR module, and they were actually using it in a doorway. So they would aim it at the doorway. So what they triggered was just when somebody went in or out of the room, not if there was movement in the room. That was clever. That was new. A different way to use it. You built a few of Ben's sensors and they work great. Jason did. Awesome. AM302 PIRs. They don't have interference. Okay, cool. Is that what I have here? No, it doesn't look like that's what I have here. So this one's probably going to have some interference. I guess when you buy 37 of them for $20, you're not going to get the highest quality stuff. Jump 2 pins at the same time. It's a pain. Okay. Accelerometer, industrial vibration studies. Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that, but one of my buddies, Matt, who's, I don't know if he's in the chat today or not, but he has used, he made a vibration sensor for the washing machine to know when the washing machine was shut off. That's useful. Right? If you leave your clothes in the washing machine a long time after they're done, they get kind of smelly. So as soon as the washing machine turns off, it probably beeps, but if you're not near it, you might not hear it. So he wanted something set up, and he's not the only one. I've seen other people that have done this. You want some sort of an indicator when the washing machine turns off. So a vibration sensor would be a good use for that one. But then you'd have to put it on the washing machine. I don't know, maybe not. You could run some wires. It'd be okay. Atmospheric pressure. Oh, that would be cool. The guy with the Swiss accent. I love the guy with the Swiss accent. What were you saying about him, Andrew? Andres, right? Andres. He's a good guy. He had a great video. He had a really good video for those of us like me that are making YouTube videos and Hascats. You might want to check it out. He did a video a month or two ago about, should I still be a YouTuber? Should I still make videos? And he was going through all of the, the time that it takes and the rewarding parts and the struggles and why do it. And, spoiler, right? He decided to go ahead and keep doing it, but it was really interesting. Cool guy. I'd love to meet him someday. Oh, Bobby's got an easy setup for the washing machine. I don't doubt it. You share it with me? Bobby, send it to me. Jason mentioned him. Okay, cool. All right. Is there anything you guys want to try something out? I think you guys that are in the chat probably have a pretty good handle on most of this stuff. So going over kind of basic things on how to, how to handle different errors when you're flashing or something is probably not super useful to you guys, but we'll do whatever you want. We'll talk about whatever you want. Just keep answering questions. Just keep chatting. That's great too. Fridge monitoring system. Ooh, Felix. That would be good. So what would you monitor? You'd monitor whether or not it was open. That would be good. The temperature inside. That would be good. Good day from down under. Good day. I'm not very good with accents. BLE beacon to detect when the car comes home. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. I haven't messed with those BLE. I wanted to, but I haven't got there yet. They would be pretty useful for a lot of things, I think. I've been really happy with that MQTT car sensor. Has anybody else done it? Have you guys done that car presence thing yet? because it's working really well for me. Current sensor for the Sonoff TH4 Pro. Oh, a current sensor. Oh, Alex, is that something you want to see? I don't have one. But that's what's on it? The Pro has the sensor, is that right? Yeah, I wish my kit would have had something like that. Because that would be interesting. Oh, I can tell you guys, you guys want to hear what else I was working on? Let's go to this desk thing for a minute. Multi-circuit current sensor. The switchboard, yeah. That's why you need the smart thing. Oh, okay. That's why you need the bridge to get back up. Gotcha. Door and window sensors. Most are wired solutions. Yeah, okay, that's a good okay. I haven't done that. I have not done an ESP8266 door sensor or window sensor. Most would be wired. Yeah, I think the problem is going to be, if you looked at my battery button one, it will take a lot of battery if you don't have it wired, like powered. If you can get power to it, then it'd be a no-brainer. It'd be pretty easy. But if you can't get power to it, you'd have trouble with the door and window sensors. I have still waiting for it to arrive. The Kickstarter, the connected. I think I shared it last time. It's a replacement board for the old time alarm systems where you've got sensors on your windows and doors, and and the old boards are huge, and you got to pay somebody to monitor them, and mine died and just doesn't work anymore. But this little board, based on some Arduino architecture probably, you plug in your zones, your sensors from your doors and your windows, and it becomes an alarm system, and you integrate it with Home Assistant and all that, and you can do all kinds of things. I think I'm using Raspberry Pi 3 for existing home security. Yep, Tango, you're on the right track. I think that's the way to go, because you get to monitor it yourself, you can customize it, you do all those things. Yeah, so Ben, with the battery life on those, there are some things you can do, but they still don't get it really to last a long time. What some people have said is, and what might be the best solution for door sensors would be the those Amazon dash buttons. You can get those dash buttons, and I don't know if they're 8266 chips or if there's something else. I haven't messed with them, but you can do something with those. They have a little bit more of a delay because they actually go to sleep. They have like a deep sleep mode, and when they come out of the sleep mode, they send a signal. So the door opening or the window opening could trigger them, wake them up, and then they send a signal. The delay isn't really long. I think it's only maybe a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds or something like that. So, when you're talking about somebody opening your door or your window, you don't have to know instantly. It doesn't have to, be instant. It can be within a few seconds and it'd probably be okay. So maybe that's the thing to look at, is to look at modifying those Amazon dash buttons. There should be some videos out there about that. Just set up 2 Sonoff SVs for the garage. Found out the control is encrypted. Oh no. Now trying to bypass the button by soldering to the terminals there. Any ideas how to bypass the encryption? None. No idea how to bypass encryption on that. Sorry. Yeah, but I would go with a hardwired solution like you're doing. I just tap into the buttons. That's what I did. Mine's not smart to start with. So you just find the wires that go to the button that you press on the wall, and you just put those into the relay on the Sonoff. And it'd be the same as pushing the button, except you have your home automation system push the button virtually, right? So you can do it. Don't give up. You got it. And you don't have to do the encryption bypass probably. Yeah, Rod, I don't know how to get to the low power mode. I guess, is there some, you do it in Arduino or something? The best I could do is get it to, be asleep part of the time. So that cut down the power usage by, 70, 80%. But it was still only going to last a day or two, the battery on the ESP8266. Go with the micro price Z-Wave sensors for door and windows. They're extremely cheap. Oh, really? Do you guys see that? Mono price Z-Wave sensors for the doors and windows. There you go. Thanks, Jeff. All right. ESP now and MQTT on battery less than 30 milliseconds to come out of sleep and transmit. Dang. Okay. ESP32 with ESP now must be the firmware and MQTT on a battery. Oh, I need to write that down. That's Lamont. There you go. Write that down. Grab that. There's your solution for your windows and doors. Used an old garage remote and removed the battery and powered it with the same transformer. I should send you an ESP32. You need one. I'll get one, Andrew. Thank you. I haven't messed with them, so I will. Kevin Dura on YouTube has sub 1 microamp deep sleep pusher board for door sensors. Oh, sweet. It probably won't let you put a link in the yeah. So Bobby knows how to bypass that. He looks like he's saying how to bypass the inability to post links in the chat. I think you just have to leave the www off or leave the .com off or something like that. But you can post, you can kind of bypass the security on not posting links in the chat. Do I have a preference, a Sonoff SV or D1 for the garage door project? I had less trouble with the SV. I'm not sure that's a fair comparison because we kind of wrote the D1 sketch in Arduino from scratch. And so it took a lot more troubleshooting. And I even had to go back and change what I did. So if you watch the video that I did about the D1 mini garage opener, I don't actually do it that way now. I've changed it so that the pins are, how did I end up doing it? I made it opposite. I think I had the pins high when the board comes on, and then the pins go low when you activate it. And then you connect the wires to the button to the normally closed terminals on the relay. And the reason I did that, oh good, I can show it. I can show this link. Great. Thank you, Rich. So by doing that, the problem I was having with the D1 mini garage opener was it was triggering randomly. Like every time it would disconnect and reconnect to the Wi-Fi network, which was happening a lot. I've got 50 something devices on my Wi-Fi right now. My poor router is screaming in pain. And so it would disconnect and reconnect a lot. And when that was happening, the garage was opening and closing, sometimes 5 or 6 times, in a couple of hours. That's no good, obviously, right? So, but by switching the code and making the pins, high and then low, and by connecting to the normally closed part of the relay instead of the normally open pin, it works. Now it works. I haven't had another, since I switched that, it's been months, and I haven't had another random opening since then. So right now that I've got all the bugs worked out, the D1 mini solution is just as good as the SV, but the SV solution was a breeze. It was a piece of cake. Did it in like a couple hours. So that's what I would go for. All right. I have a separate router. Zach Scott says he has a separate router for his Internet of Things stuff. I'm going to advocate that as well. I know Andy Meggs, we were talking about that last week or a couple weeks ago, and that's a good idea. I've got a router sitting here that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use it for the Maker Faire display, and after that, it's going to be my my Internet of Things router, so that all of my Sonoffs and all that stuff is all connected to one router. That's smart, because in every time somebody gets on YouTube or does some of those other things, you don't have a lot of on and off of the connections with the Wi-Fi. I think that makes a lot of sense. Your garage was doing what his lights did. That was a tad irritating. Did you get it worked out, Andrew? Did you get your lights fixed? Message retracted. Oh, David, I'm sorry. Was that the link that got retracted? Computer has just shouted, "You have 16 new subscribers." Good. All right. Yeah, Benjamin did the Sonoff, and it was easy peasy. It was pretty easy. Building a house and the walls are open. What do you pre-wire? Holy cow, Paul. Okay, man, if I was going to build a house from scratch, what would I do? That's a good list. Okay. In no particular order, I will tell you. Make sure that you have, I would say, 2 Cat 6 wires in every room. One by the door. Put one right next to the door, right by the door handle. And then have all of those, well, you want them all to run to some central hub, right? So you're going to want at least one place in every room where you can plug in, an Ethernet for a computer. But put a Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable by your doors, by the door handles. There's a lot of good things you can do when you have that wire already there. I'm going to be working on a magnetic lock. That'll be an electric lock that'll be automated. But of course, doing the light switch things by the door in a wired way instead of with Wi-Fi is better if you can. Probably better. And, there's some debate probably, I guess, but I think it's pretty good. And Jonathan Oxer at Superhouse TV, he's a big advocate of that. He did that in his house. He made it really, really complicated. He put all of his relays in one place and some of that. I'm going to do it a little differently, but I would do that. Another thing I would tell you to do if you got bare walls, plan out now where you want to put cameras and give yourself an outlet and an Ethernet connection where you want to put your cameras. So maybe not bedrooms, okay? That'd be a little weird, but outside the house, main living spaces, in enough different spots where you can get a good look at all the stuff that's going on in your house and set up, motion detection and stuff. But being able to plug your cameras into an outlet where they're getting, AC power and being able to plug them into a wired connection to your network instead of relying on Wi-Fi, you'll be happy you did that. So those are 2 big things. What do you guys think? If you guys had it over to do over again, if you're building a new house and you could do anything in it, what kind of stuff would you put in it? Tell Paul. Those are the 2 things that I think about now all the time that I wish I had, that I don't. Wire for curtains. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, put a wire so that you can have blinds and curtains open automatically. Not a bad idea. All right. Oh, Zach, that's what I want to do, the DDWRT. Are you happy with that? Because I've been thinking about that for this second router, using those open source firmwares for the routers. Anybody else do that? PoE cameras are the only way. 5-volt PoE. Deep wall boxes. Yes, thank you, Everything Computer. That's the other one. Good call. Spend the extra 10 or 15 cents per outlet box, all for your switches and for your outlets in the your receptacles, and get the deeper boxes. So if you want to add more stuff later and stuff things in there, you'll be happy you did. DDWRT, love it. Good. Any chance you have experience integrating 2.4 gigahertz RF Home Assistant, specifically the NRF 2401? Not me personally, Darren. Sorry, anybody help Darren? PF Sense plus DDWRT. Love it and been using it for years. All right. There's some good tutorials out there on how to set it up. It doesn't look too hard. I started reading their pages. It looks pretty easy. Oh, Jeff uses it too. See, what is DDWRT? Sorry, Georgia Tech. Is that GA Tech, Georgia Tech? DDWRT is an open source firmware for your router. So you can buy, whatever router. I think most of them will work. They have a list on their website of compatible brands and such, but you buy the router, and then instead of using Netgear or D-Link's firmware on that router and being limited to the menus and the choices and things that they decided were good, you put this DDWRT, and there's a couple other options, but that one seems to be pretty popular. You essentially flash it, right? You put that firmware on the router, and then you get a lot more control. There's a lot of good reasons to use it. I think one of the reasons that I like it, or that I want to use it, is because if I'm going to be, helping people sort out their problems with some of these things. Would sure be nice if we were all using the same software, right? So if I can convince people to use that when they're having problems connecting things to their router, every router's got some different firmware in it. Even the same brands, a year or two later, they got some different firmware, different menus, and it's a different setup, and they don't do a very good job of making things easy to get to and make changes. But DDWRT, since it's open source, you get a lot of people, like-minded people like all of us here, in this chat today, using it and available to help out. And so there it is. It's a firmware for routers. Latching relay behind each manual light switch, making it a two-way switch. Each relay on Cat5 controlled by the Raspberry Pi. I like where Mark's going with that. Tasmota for routers, Gary says. Yeah, that's right. It's Tasmota for routers. Your channel is awesome. More vids, please. I will do my best, Bill. Man, if I could quit my job and just make videos all day, I would. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. I'm sure trying. I'm trying to do it. Like I said before, I want to keep the quality up, but I do want to do more. There's so many topics to cover, and the longer I wait to do some of those topics, they become less relevant potentially. So I'm trying to find ways, and using this format, doing this live session, and even using the same software. This is open broadcasting. What's it called? Open broadcasting software, I guess, OBS. I can do a lot of the overlays. You can see I can do the green screen. I can put my computer up there. I've got a desk. I've got this camera here that I can do things on the desk. So by using this, I'm hoping that I can shorten the time that it takes me to do a quality video, and in that way, hopefully get more videos out faster. So thank you, Bill. I'm glad you want more videos, and boy, believe me, I want to get them out. And Jeff uses a second SSID on his router for his internet. Yep, that'd be great, because then you don't get anybody else signing on to it or messing with it. Andrew, crap. Left laser running unsupervised in the 3D printer. Got distracted by your live feed. Almost burned down my house. Oh, sorry, dude. No. So wait, now. Okay, as soon as you put out the fire, Andrew, you got to come back and tell us about your 3D printer, because I'm guessing you must have one of those, the kinds that raise it up out of the pool of stuff, right? Because those are the ones that use the laser. That's pretty cool. 3D printers are awesome. I've got my Taz 5 that I love. How long have I been streaming today? Almost an hour. Solved your coverage problems. Oh, yeah, that's right. I read that about the DDWRT too, that you actually can kind of boost the signal from your router, right? You can, I guess overwork it or whatever, and you can get more range. So awesome. It's all on you. Adam is CPU only. Okay, you guys, I love that you guys are having conversations. That's great. That's an awesome community. ASUS has a new firmware with AI mesh. It's been working great. Okay. Going to replace the Z-Waves with Sonoffs once they're certified in Australia. Good. I don't expect we'll ever get them certified in the US, but it's a risk I'm willing to take, I suppose. Tyson, thanks for the vids on the SV Garage Opener. Just got it running yesterday. Awesome. Going to try and use the door window sensor as a tilt sensor. Oh, cool. Okay. Help me with your Dual 2. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of coming in on part of these conversations. Tasmota firmware on your router. What? I can run MQT on it too. Can run a parallel SSID. Whoa. You can use Tasmota on your router? Caught your year-round lights video and love it. Started me down the road with Home Assistant. Keep the videos and tutorials coming. You're welcome, Greg. I love those lights. I've got, I've got about 10 more strips in my garage waiting to do the rest of the house. I haven't finished. Got to go do the back of the house. I love them too. It's fun. I really have a good time with them. What I need to get figured out is the over-the-air update of Arduino sketches on the D1 Mini. That is still eluding me. I thought I had it, and then it stopped working, and I haven't had time to go back and figure it out. going to make a tutorial for the Sonoff T1 switches. I have a T1. In fact, I was just looking for it the other day. I'm going to include it in the display for the Maker Faire. And I'm going to do the B1 also. The B1 is the light bulb. The one we took apart on the last live stream. I'm going to flash that one and do that one in Tasmota. All right. On your last chat, you mentioned TAS on the Wemos. Any progress? Oh, yeah. So Ruin, I'm sorry if I don't say that right, but yes, we talked about that at the beginning of this one too. And I have made progress, and I do have, in fact, we'll close this again. This is it right here. What you're looking at is, this is actually a Node MCU board that's running Tasmota. So a few things I'll tell you now. You guys get the bonus features ahead of time. So when you go to the module, right, you go to, let's start back at the beginning, the main menu. This is what comes up. When you first set it up, it shows up as a Sonoff Basic. So you need to go into Configure Module and you change it to Generic. That's the one that you want when you're using the D1 Mini or the Node MCU board. And then that gives you all these pins you can use. And then you missed it earlier too, but we talked about, I got this kit of, where is it now? Let's do this. There. I got this 37 sensor kit. It's got a ton of stuff on it. This is where I'm going to start putting all the things in there, all these different sensors. So we're going to make a Franken-sensor, and we're going to see what all we can do with all these pins. We'll do a bunch of inputs, bunch of different inputs, bunch of different outputs, and go through the setups in Tasmota and the command line stuff at the console that you can do to do different stuff. And it won't be super practical to do all these things on one board like this. It's just not like going to have like this one use. Like Ben's multi-sensor was useful. This isn't going to probably be super useful by itself, but hopefully what it will do is show off a lot of the ways you can set up these sensors on any of these ESP-based devices, like the Sonoff or anything else. So, all right. Added Arduino OTA to original garage door sketch. Yeah, Jason, and I couldn't get it. Got 100% clean. I was going to submit a pull request in your GitHub project for it. Please do. Somebody has done that for me before, and they've done it for my lights one too. And man, I'm just missing something, right? I'm missing something in the way that get that Arduino OTA thing to work. I don't know what I'm doing wrong yet. So tired of router tinkering. Now I just want it to work. Been very happy with my OnHub. What's OnHub, Paul? Is that the W or the DDWRT? Alexa keeps telling me the device is not responding. Does anyone know what could cause this? Chris asks. Every once in a while I'll have that happen if things get dropped off of the Wi-Fi. It doesn't happen very often though, but that's when I've had it. And sometimes I've had to restart Alexa, or I've had to disable and enable the app, the Alexa or the Home Assistant app, or skill, I guess it's called, on the Alexa webpage. But anybody else has that? DrZzs, are you running any Z-Wave devices? Do I have a stick or MQTT with SmartThings? Jeff says, I don't have any Z-Wave devices. I do have SmartThings. It's sitting here waiting for me to finish the setup. I guess it's kind of zoomed in, but I do have my SmartThings box. It's right here. I don't have it turned on yet, but I want to, and I will very soon. But I can't tell you much about it right now. Oh, Google Router is on Hub. Oh, okay, cool. And you're pretty happy with that, huh? Been pretty stable for you, working pretty well. Franken-sensor. Did one day for fun. It's something like 17 sensors, memory serves. That's Andrew, there it is. Franken-sensor. Version 2, I guess now. Purchased Sonoff Dual, but don't know if it can be flashed with OTA. Well, all you can do is try. I did flash one with OTA. when I did my OTA video, one of the ones I did was, did I do the dual? I thought I did. Anyways, oh no, I did the SV. But anyways, you can, yes, as long as the firmware that it came with isn't too new, because IT, the folks that make the Sonoff, added a certificate to their OTA software updates. And so you can't sneak Tasmota in there anymore on the newer firmware. I don't think that's been bypassed by anybody yet. Not that I've heard. Always wanted to monitor my oil heat zones and water circulator usage. Can these sensors monitor 12-volt AC thermostat wiring without optocoupler isolation? Which sensors? I'm sure you could find a sensor that could do that, Reb. I'm sure you could. Sounds like you know what you're doing. Moving from smart things to home assistant, Paul. Yeah, smart things. I bought one when they were cheap at like Black Friday, Thanksgiving sale. And the reason I did was because I thought, well, I've probably got some family members or some friends that are not going to want to get into home assistant and the sort of manual customization component. They want something that is more plug and play. I don't know if Smart Things is really that much plug and play. Anytime you give up that customization, you give up function. So I think it's, you sound like a guy that knows what he's doing. You want to get in there under the hood and tinker around with things. You'll be a lot happier with Home Assistant, I would bet. Frankensensor. Zach started out with Smart Things too. Did you hear anything about being on a podcast, Kevin? No, not yet. No, not yet. How often do they do it? I can bug them again. Is it a weekly thing or a monthly thing? Well, Bill's answering the question. The 12-volt AC you can just couple with a transformer. That makes sense. Going back through the chat here to see if there's anything I missed. Let's see. What else should we cover? Is there anything else anybody wants to know about? I can tell you about... Oh, that was this. Forgot that was plugged in still. That was my Sonoff I was flashing earlier today. I want to show you guys something for fun. All right? Show you what... what version of the Sonoff is locked down? 1.6. Their stock firmware, this is for Timothy, the stock firmware, 1.6 no longer does OTA updates. And there's no way that I know of anyways to downgrade it. Because at 1.55 it was working, 1.6 no longer working. But, if you get the manual method for doing it isn't so bad. It's not so bad. But I do know what you're talking about with the dual, though, because the dual, if you don't have the R2, is a major pain in the butt to get GPIO 0 to ground. You have to if you watch my video, you'll see. I'd have a video about the dual, and I had to flash it. It wasn't an R2, and I had to put, you have to solder this wire on this tiny little spot, and it was a pain. It was a pain. So the other thing you could do is just get a newer one. Go straight to IT's website, buy a dual, and tell them I only want an R2. And when I did that, that's what they sent me. And I would expect that they don't have any old versions of the dual in stock anymore. If you buy it straight from them, if you buy it from Amazon or AliExpress or something like that, they might be able to send you an old one. You don't want an old one. You want a new one. So go straight to them. Yes, it's just over the air, Reb. There went my light. It's just over the air. That doesn't work. Doing it manually, with your serial adapter still works. Still works fine. Sonoff RF versions suck for flashing too. Yeah, do they? I bet. Yeah. All right. You don't need to solder the dual. Just hold during the boot. That's what I did. Yeah, Paul, you had an R2. If all you had to do was hold the button, Then you had the R2 version. So the older ones before that, GPIO 0 wasn't anywhere really accessible on the board. It was a pain. It took a long time. For your first one to play with, recommend soldering headers for testing. Yeah, good idea. I would say that's a good idea too. Panic for a second there. Was lockdown Sonoffs. No, Andrew. No. I just was flashing some more new ones today. You can still do it manually. No problem. Yeah, that would suck. Hope they never change that. Hope they never raise the price or anything. Gosh, these things are fantastic. Where are you getting the pin headers for the Sonoff Basic? I got mine when I bought a bunch of my D1 minis. I bought a pack of D1 minis a long time ago, and they came in a bag with, they have a whole bunch of these. And so I've been just salvaging those. Let's see if I can find another one. Sorry, probably making a bunch of noise with this, digging through this drawer. Sorry. Yeah, here. They came in a bag with the D1 Mini. And so when I want to use them on the Sonoff, I'll just, I'll take a piece like this that's got whatever it is, 8 pins on it, and I'll just break it at 4 or 5 and solder that onto the Sonoff. Adafruit has a bunch of cool headers. Cool. Yeah, you could probably, they're so little and so cheap. I'm sure you probably have to buy 100 of them to make it, worth shipping cost. But they're useful. Bag of 140 pin headers for Amazon for $8. There you go. Jeff's got one for you. Ordered the R2, so hopefully it works. Pro Sky. Yeah, it should. The R2s are, like I said, if you ordered it straight from IT, I'd be pretty sure you got the R2, and they're much easier to mess with. You're welcome. What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to show you guys. So one of the cool things that's been happening to me after, doing this for 6, 7, 8 months, somewhere in there, and actually getting some traction as far as people being interested in the videos, is that manufacturers, like companies, are interested too, because they want to send me stuff. And they say, oh, would you review our this, that, or the other thing? And that's cool, right? So there was something that I wanted to try, and I got an email from Banggood, which is a website you guys probably have been to. If you use Amazon, AliExpress, it's that kind of a place. From Banggood, and they said, hey, we'd like to send you some stuff for you to try out. And so what I wanted to try, and what I got from them, was one of these guys. This is an electromagnetic lock, and it's actually for a cabinet door. It's supposed to be 65 kilograms of force that it should be able to withstand. And I thought, well, that it's for a cabinet door, so is that going to be enough? Like, is that good enough to put on your house, like a front door or something? And so I looked up what force a normal deadbolt lock on your wall or on your front door is supposed to withstand. And if you just buy a regular contractor grade deadbolt for your front door, so the kinds that probably 99% of us have on our doors, that is only supposed to withstand 150 or 155 pounds of force. So this little guy can withstand like 130 something, 132 or something like that, 65 kilograms. So somebody do the math on that. So this little guy is supposed to withstand almost as much force as a deadbolt. So if somebody wants to kick your door down, they're still going to be able to do it. But as far as just being able to turn the handle and push, this should hold. So, and then the Banggood, I just got this finally in the mail the other day, and the Banggood lady wrote me a letter, and she's like, hey, so when are you going to get that video done? I'm like, oh man, I got like a backlog of videos. I said maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks. And she's like, oh, we really like you to get it done sooner. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm going to try and get it done sooner. So anyways, but the idea here is this is 12 volts. And so I'm going to hook this up with a Sonoff SV and put it next to the door and essentially and this thing was cheap. I don't remember what it was, $10, $12 maybe from Banggood. So if you try and buy a smart lock for your house, they're $100. Easy. So this, what they sent me was this one. You can't even read the box. I'll put a link when I do the video. But this is the one they sent me. The only little bits of English on there are the part where it says 64 kilograms and the part where it says 12 volts DC. Everything else in the whole thing is written in Chinese, so I can't, but I tried it last night, and did I post that picture? I meant to post a picture. Oh yeah, I did. The picture that I posted on Instagram right before I started this, I said I got to put away my next project to get ready for the stream. This is what I was messing with. And what I was doing, because I had no idea how much power it draws. So when it's latched and this magnet is on, like how many amps is that drawing? What do I need to be able to provide so that it doesn't fry my Sonoff or something? And it wasn't much, but that was the picture that was on Instagram. So anyways, this is pretty sweet and it should work. And, if it works and we're happy with it, then we're going to have a new, awesome, fairly inexpensive, do-it-yourself smart magnetic lock for your doors. How about that? That's pretty sweet. All right. Anything else, guys? I'm probably gonna sign off pretty soon. I hate to end the discussion, but it's been an hour plus, and I don't want you guys to get tired of me. What do you think about the Sonoff Touch? Nuno says, what do you think about the Sonoff Touch? I have one. I haven't even turned it on. Anybody want to give Nuno some feedback on the Sonoff Touch? If you go check out Pete Struthers, he makes YouTube videos about Home Assistant as well, and he had one about the Sonoff Touch, and he had some pretty good criticism of it, talking about it, and I think they made some design problems for themselves with the way they put some screws. I think that if you use if you're not in the United States, if you're someplace else, the UK or Europe or something, then they have an EU version, which I think is probably going to work better for the EU than the US version works for the US, it seems, because our boxes are different shapes and they had to do some different stuff. But anyways, can't wait for the Maglock video. Thank you. Good, Kevin. I'm glad. I'm happy to work on it. I want to work on it. So, okay, guys. Oh, I wonder if Dawson still around? I don't think he's watching anymore. Dawson loves to do the audios part at the end of the videos. I was gonna let him do it, but anyways, thanks for support, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for comments. Thanks for helping each other. If you have not figured out by now, I really don't know everything. I feel like when I'm answering questions on comments and stuff, I'm always like, sorry, I don't know. I know like 4 or 5 answers, and then when I've used those, I've given people those sort of the might not even be the question they're asking, but I give them the answers I know. So without all of you guys contributing and helping each other out, we wouldn't get very far. So thanks for helping me, and thanks for helping each other. So give us something to sleep. Yeah, all you guys in the UK, good night. We'll try and do one in an early morning next time. We'll probably do another one of these in another couple of weeks, and we'll try and do it early in the morning. And we'll see if we can maximize the participation. So anyways, guys, thanks. Appreciate you. Have a good day. Till next time. Adios.